Welcome back. Today I'll be taking a look at 3 new non-traditional multi-tools. And non-traditional meaning not a Victorinox or a Leatherman, more of a pry bar with a bunch of extra tools slapped on there just so you can call it a multi-tool. So let's talk about how practical these really are and if I would really carry one or if you would really carry one. Now I chose these 3 just because they're the newest non-traditional multi-tools that I have in my collection, and they're very different from one another. This one right here, you'll probably recognize it right away. This is the Dango MT-05. It has 18 different functions and designed specifically for emergency purposes. This right here is the Ekster tool card. It has 7 tools in one and specifically designed for travel. And this right here is the Olight O-Pry Pro, 7 tools in one and specifically designed for everyday carry. Now all 3 of these are very different and designed for different purposes. Now let's just get this out of the way right now. All 3 of them have a bottle opener in them. Just because slapping a bottle opener on a tool is probably the quickest and easiest way to actually make it a multi-tool. Now for me personally, I couldn't care less about a bottle opener on anything really, on a multi-tool, on a wallet, nothing. Just because I rarely use a bottle opener. I know a lot of you guys use bottle openers to open a beer, but I don't really drink beer. The bottles that I open usually come with a cork on it and have the word bourbon written on the side of it. But if you are a beer drinker and need that bottle opener to pop open a bottle cap, bottle openers work great, but you can almost use anything. That's right, with a little practice, you can even use just a pry bar to open up a bottle or the side of a table, almost anything. So I just wanted to set the record straight on that. Having a bottle opener has no effect on me whatsoever. So let's talk about the Dango MT-05. This is their newest multi-tool in their lineup here, and like I said, specifically designed for emergency purposes. And you can tell just by the seatbelt cutter right here. And let me tell you, this seatbelt cutter right here is extremely sharp, specifically this hook right here. Now the MT-05 does come with the A10 Spec Ops right here. This back plate right here is specifically designed to hold the MT-05. And in that review, when I was taking this out of the wallet, I was unaware of this sharp hook and I actually poked myself and drew blood. So if you guys have one of these, you're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about here. But not just that, being a seatbelt cutter, these edges are very sharp as well. And these serrated edges right here are very, very sharp. Needless to say, this is not TSA compliant. It has 18 different tools here. A lot of those tools are these hex wrenches right here, which honestly, I've never used a hex wrench on any one of these non-traditional multi-tools. The only hex wrench that I've ever really put to use is this 1/4 inch wrench right here, and that's just because if I need it in a pinch, I'll put a 1/4 inch bit in there and use it if I have to. And the same deal goes for the oxygen wrench right here. I have a few multi-tools with an oxygen wrench and I just have no purpose for that. It also has a rope tensioner right here, but what I do like, it has this little pry bar on the bottom with a nail prior and a semi-sharp edge right here is a chisel. So just by the additions of those tools right there, make this a little bit more functional than most of the multi-tools of this style that I have. But as an emergency tool, I think it's very useful, especially if it comes with the Dango A10 Spec Ops right here, because it just sits in the plate right here, and if you need it, it's there automatically. So if you guys have a A10 Spec Ops, you're gonna already own this because it comes with it. But at the moment, there's really no other convenient way to carry this unless you wanna make a specific sheath for the MT-05. Just to have it in your car for emergency purposes or whatever. But overall, a very useful multi-tool in a pinch for emergency situations. Now let's move on to the Ekster tool card right here. Now Ekster, they're not really known for making multi-tools here. They are a wallet company and they just released this bad boy right here. Now the tool card here has 7 tools in one. It's made of 304 stainless steel. Like I mentioned before, it is good for travel and it's roughly the same size as a credit card. So if you have an Ekster wallet like this with the elastic strap, fits in pretty nice just like that, or this little pocket on the back, because It's almost the same size as a credit card, fits in very nicely. So that's one advantage to the tool card here. So let's talk about these 7 tools here real quick. 2 of those tools are a metric ruler right here. So is it millimeters right here on the bottom, and then inches right here on the top. I already mentioned the bottle opener right here is a flathead screwdriver, a box opener right there that's not sharp but could definitely open some boxes. It has the standard hex wrenches, and right here is a SIM card pin. So that's why they say this is good for travel, and I would have to agree just by how convenient it is to just fit inside of any wallet, and the addition of that SIM card pin right there. So honestly, it has almost everything you need in a pinch if you're traveling, with the addition of this little flathead screwdriver right here and box cutter. Once again, I just don't know if I've ever used any of these hex wrenches. I just don't understand why these are always on multi-tools. I know it's super easy to just cut this out and call it a hex wrench set, but I have never come across a situation where I would need this. And this feels high quality. It is built very well. It's made of 304 stainless steel, and yeah, this thing is solid. And I do like that it has both a 2-inch ruler and a 7mm ruler on each side of the card. Now, I think the SIM card tool, the pin right here, is a great idea, because I can't tell you how many times I've needed to find mine and it's just lost. So I like that it has this. What I don't like is the execution of how it sits on the card here, only because I can't really get it to sit in there very well. It is magnetic, so that's a magnet right there. So you can see that magnet holds on to that pin very well, but this is supposed to fit. This little hook right there is supposed to fit around that magnet, and no matter what, it just doesn't fit well. It always moves around very easy. Unless I'm doing this wrong. I don't think so, because this is exactly how it came. I just think it could be a better designed spot for this SIM card tool, but once again, I am glad it's there. Also, I think it's cool that there's holes right here on the ruler. So there is a hole for every millimeter hash mark and a hole for every ½ inch hash mark. So if you have a sharp enough pencil, you can actually mark your measurements. All right, and let's get to the last tool right here. This is the Olight O-Pry Pro multifunctional pry bar. Now this one I really like here. It has 7 tools in one. It's made of TC4 titanium, and it has stainless steel hardware. It's very small and compact. It's actually a lot smaller than the original O-Pry at 2.76 inches long, and it only weighs 1.64 ounces. It has a milled titanium pocket clip right here, and yes, even this little sliding tab to hold in those hex bits. It's made of titanium, and it has a pretty nice stonewashed finish too, and because it's stonewashed, it gives it a little grip. I really like how this feels in my hand. It's very, very high quality. Oh, and it also ships with this paracord right here that you have to tie off yourself. You can see I tied it off right there at the end, and yes, it does come with this little titanium bead. So let's talk about the tools here. So the bottle opener is right here. One of the newest tools on the O-Pry Pro, an upgrade over the original O-Pry, is a whistle right here. Now I do like loud whistles for a self-defense mechanism, and let me tell you, this whistle right here is extremely loud. Now I'm not going to demonstrate that in this video because I'd probably blow your speakers out, but trust me, this is loud. So I think that is a really nice touch. Right here, another useless oxygen wrench, at least for me. I love carrying pry bars. I always carry an EDC pry bar. So that automatically puts the O-Pry Pro to the top of the list because this is a pretty nice pry bar here. It's a very long wedge for that pry bar, but you can see it is pretty thick. The wedge is a little bit thicker than I'm used to, but that does have some advantages to it. On the top side and bottom side, it has a spot for a 1/4 inch hex bit. On the side here is a 5cm ruler, and you can see right here under that tab, there's 2 4mm hex bits. And those 2 bits are double-sided, so let's take those out and check them out here. So flathead screwdriver and Phillips screwdriver, and yes, these are very, very small, but this right here might be my favorite. Right here is a T6 and a T8 4mm hex bit, and those fit in right here on the bottom, right next to the whistle, and there is a small ball detent in there, so they click in pretty nice. So why am I happy that it comes with a T6 and a T8? Well, if you guys are knife guys, you're gonna know that most of the hardware on your knife is gonna take a T8. So if you have to adjust your scales or if you have to adjust the tension on your blade, that's gonna do the trick for you. So just by having a T6 and a T8 hex bit already built in to this pry tool here, for me personally, makes this extremely functional. And when you're not using it, just fits right back there in that little compartment, and you can close it up. And you can see if you're using one, it'll still hold that one very nice and it won't rattle around. Now let's get the other one back in there and close it up. Now let's talk about this 1/4 inch hex bit slot right here. Let's move these over. Now I do like the fact that it has that. So if you have any 1/4 inch bits here, of course, that steps up the functionality a lot. But the problem is they're not magnetized. So of course, anytime you have a slot that can accept a 1/4 inch bit like this, you're gonna want that magnetized, because if you tip it over, it's just gonna fall out. So if there was just a single magnet in there, just something real small, just to help hold these bits in here, that would put this above and beyond anything else. But unfortunately, it doesn't come with a magnet, so you basically have to hold on to it and then do whatever work you have to do, take it out. So I'm just complaining here. It's not a deal breaker at all, but for me, maybe in the next version, I would love to see a magnet in there. Also, I love the fact that it has this machine titanium pocket clip right here. Now, Olight says you can also use this as a money clip, but come on, let's be real. No one's ever going to use this as a money clip. You possibly could if you want to go extremely minimal for that day. For me, I would never use it as a money clip, but I like the fact that it has the pocket clip in general, just because I don't like when my pry tools are in my pockets just dangling around freely. And in a pinch, you can even use this tip of the pry bar here as a flathead screwdriver. That's true with any pry bar though. I'm surprised Olight didn't try to add in another tool for the O-Pry Pro here, saying it has a flathead screwdriver. I'm just saying in a pinch you could use it as that. So of these three new non-traditional multi-tools, the O-Pry Pro from Olight, the Ekster tool card, or the Dango MT-05, which one would you carry as an EDC? For me personally, I'm gonna lean towards the Olight O-Pry Pro here, just because I love carrying everyday carry pry bars, and the addition of those 4mm hex bits with the T6 and the T8, the security whistle right here, and the pocket clip just puts this above and beyond. Plus, it's just a well-built, high-quality little pry bar. So for me personally, I would put the O-Pry Pro at the top of the list as an EDC, but that's not taking anything away from these two tools right here. In fact, I would put the Dango MT-05 as one of the best emergency multi-tools that you could carry. And if you're traveling, if you're a traveler, I would definitely recommend the tool card here, but I think Ekster needs to go back and reevaluate this little spot right here for the SIM card tool, because look, it just keeps popping out on me. I think if they redesigned this and had this sit a little bit better, I would like it a little bit more, but as a travel multi-tool, I think it's decent. All right, guys, so hopefully this sheds some light on these three new non-traditional multi-tools from non-traditional multi-tool companies. All right, guys, if you want to check out anything that you saw here today, I will have links down below in my description box. And I actually have discount codes for every single tool that you see here, from Olight, from Ekster, and from Dango. So make sure you check out those codes down below and save yourself some cash if you want to order one. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!